If there's one main thing that I learned the past 2 years about manifesting money, is that you can do it just by lying to yourself and taking small action. Doesn't matter how much action you take, if you lie to yourself just long enough to the point you convince yourself that you're actually manifesting a certain amount of money each and every single month, that will become your new reality. And the reason why I say this is because I went from a point in life where I saw my mother struggle to provide for me and my brother. She would literally go to her siblings, borrow so much money from them that she knew she couldn't pay at the time just to provide for us, to now fast forward today. Not only is all that money paid back, but she's taken care of and she's happy. My brother's taken care of and he's happy. And my father is also taken care of and is semi-happy. So in today's little chit chat, I want to tell you exactly how you can do the exact same thing, where you manifest money just by lying to yourself and taking small action. Now in 2022, I made a decision that most people would call stupid, which is leaving a job that paid me well. At that time, I worked in a job that I wasn't even qualified for when I applied, but thanks to my manifestation capabilities, I got accepted. And the third month of me being on the job, I made $11,000. That was in total. That's not how much I made in a single month. So 3 months of being in the job, I made $11,000 total. I was like, you know what? It's always good to dabble around and try different things. I'm gonna quit the job and do my own thing. Now, most people call that stupid, and most people will be like, you know what, this job is very secure, I'm gonna stay in it and grow in it. I was like, nah, I wanna make much more, which at that time was $15,000, and I wanted to make even more than that. So I left the job, not knowing how I'm gonna manifest $15,000, not knowing how long it will take. I just knew what I wanted to do. That was my desire at the time. And one night I was on YouTube scrolling, of course, and watching a bunch of videos, and I come across a video of somebody suggesting to start a specific business model that does not require any financial capital up front. And I was like, this makes perfect sense, I'm gonna do it. I started the business, and you know how long it took for me to manifest any success within that business? It took me 7 months. Now you may say, well, 7 months clearly shows that you made the wrong decisions by leaving your job. I would be like, no, the wrong thing was me. It was me that was the problem. Not the business, but solely my inner decisions. Sure, I made the decision to manifest $15,000, but do I have the beliefs to manifest $15,000? And as I was learning about manifestation, if there's one main thing that I learned, is that beliefs are picked and accepted. They're not something that are just bestowed upon you and you have to accept them no matter what. For example, let's say you were somebody who's young and somebody comes up to you and says, you're ugly. Now that alone doesn't make a difference. But if you take it and you match your inner speech with the thing that you said, that becomes your new identity. And if that became a part of your identity, then guess what? That's how reality will unfold itself to you. So changing beliefs meant that I have to change my inner talk. And at that time, I would tell myself that I'm not successful, it's gonna take too long, I cannot do this on my own, I only got lucky that one time with manifesting that sales job, I cannot do it again. And of course, the more I kept dwelling in that inner speech, the more things were unfolding according to that. So the moment I learned that beliefs are not just something that are bestowed upon you and you actually get to pick and accept them, I was like, okay, well, I want to match it with my desire, which is to manifest $15,000. What sort of statements and what sort of way should I talk to myself to make sure that this becomes my new reality? Now, something about inner talk is that it has to be in your own tone and speech. Some people just go to ChatGPT and ask it to give it some affirmations, and they just use these affirmations on a day-to-day basis. If it's not according to your own tone and the way you speak to yourself naturally, it's not gonna feel real. And if it doesn't feel real, then it's not real. So for me at that time, I wanted to make sure that they are real. And the way I did it is by attaching it to something that I wanted to buy or something that I wanted to do. And at that time, I wanted to buy a new MacBook because my computer was absolutely bugging out. So me buying a new MacBook was like a main thing that I would do with my new money. So I'd be like, oh, it feels great to have $15,000 that now I could just go and afford any type of MacBook that I want. Again, it feels real to me, something that I actually want. And I would come up with different variations of that affirmation. Again, as long as it's real and in my own tone, then these kind of statements will keep me uplifted at all times. And that was the main goal at the time, which is to be uplifted and feel that this is who I am right now. But let me tell you something, just because I was fixing my own inner speech doesn't mean things will just unfold right away. Sometimes something will come up or somebody would get in an argument with me. If I reacted with aggression, then I will keep falling back to my old beliefs and my old way of thinking. I used to think, thanks to social media, that hustle, grind is the only way to bring things into existence. And you always have to be solving problems, being stressed, be under a lot of anxiety. That's how I would think when obstacles and struggles came about. Now, what I didn't know is that the more I reacted to those with aggression, stress, and anxiety and out of fear and desperation, the more the cards were stacking against me and the more I fell back to old beliefs. So I had to learn how to become more still. And by being still, I don't just mean just sitting down and doing nothing. I mean becoming more aware of how you react to things emotionally and physically. So what I would do is I would sit on my bed or I'll sit on a chair and just observe every single part of my body. I would not do anything about it. If I got an itch, I wouldn't do anything about it. If I got any feeling as a sensation, I would just put my awareness to it, observe it, do nothing about it. I would not switch up my position if I felt uncomfortable. This is who I am right here, right now. Whatever I'm experiencing, I'm not gonna do anything about it. I'm just gonna observe it. The more I did that, the more I became aware of how I react to things. Now, I do not recommend doing that for more than 10 minutes a day, because if you become too self-aware, then that's a bad thing. But always make sure that each and every single day you sit down and you practice just becoming self-aware and observing everything, becoming still. I would do that physically, then I would do that mentally. So after observing my body, then I would go to observing my thoughts. I would do 10 minutes for each part. And by doing that mentally as well, I became more aware of how I think. So now I'm practicing being still, and I'm making sure that I put one foot in front of the other to bring that thing into existence. There's one thing that I had to do at all times, and I had to practice and live by each and every single day for as long as I can, which is accepting what I want into the now. Not something that will happen in the future, but this is who I am right here, right now. I would see and view the world as if that thing that I want is already achieved. I would pretend, talk, think, feel, act as if the thing that I wanted is already achieved. And the more I did that, the more things would start to fall into place and things would make more sense to me. Now, let me tell you something. All these practices that I just mentioned to you, I did them and I practiced them 2 months before I found success. So by the second month of me practicing this, I signed my first ever client from my business who paid me $14,000. Not $15,000, he paid me $14,000. And I knew right then and there that it was not about the world, but it was more about me. And the more I focused on me and my inner talk, the way I feel, the way I act, the way I think, and just observing who I am, where I am, what I feel, what I think, the more I can adjust my identity to match the thing that I want to manifest in the real world. So manifesting money isn't about forcing things in the outer world. It's by switching inward, being still, shifting your attention inward, correcting your inner speech so it matches your desire, being still by observing your thoughts and your physical body, and seeing the world from the point of view that that thing that you want is already a hard fact. This is who you are. This is how much you're making. You can go right ahead and buy everything you put on your shopping cart. That's how you should view the world. Right here, right now. Now, I will say this. Now, I do not run the exact same business that I just mentioned in the video. I run a completely different business, but I use the exact same techniques, so then I'm able to actually manifest success much and much faster. Matter of fact, 30 days after starting my current business, I made $11,000. I swear to God. And it's all thanks to everything that I just mentioned in this little chit chat. So if you take everything that I told you and you implement it, I hope you took notes. I promise you, the law of attraction will work in your favor. You will manifest money that will keep you up through the night just thinking about it.